Hello, everyone. Raymond Moore, Kilter Prepper. How's everybody doing this morning? It is Friday, and you're watching Coffee with Ray. This is the last Coffee with Ray for 2023. And yep, so we're coming into 2024, and today's topic is, what have you achieved this year? And a lot of people, in fact, a lot of people don't look back on the year and look at themselves and see what they have achieved. They've become so engrossed in just, doing on to keep on, and that's all that they're doing. They're just kind of drifting down the river of life and not really paying attention to what's going on. They're just working to make that paycheck and just continue watching football on Sunday mornings and everything like that. They don't really look at how to achieve more, do more, be more, expand. And so many people have just kind of like given up in life and don't worry about all those things about personal growth. And as a lot of you guys know, I'm really into personal growth. I've been into personal growth for quite a long time. I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins, Ed Milet, Dean Graziosi, Sean Whalen, Garrett White. I mean, I can name all these names and everything like that. But for the past 10 years, 10 years, I have really worked hard at personal growth, doing more, being more, expanding more, having more, and living a more richer and fulfilled life. And that's what I'm asking you today is, what have you achieved this year to, really caused you to grow, has caused you to do more and things? Are you even doing it? And things. Some of the stuff that I've done this year myself is, I've written 4 books this year. And I'm planning on writing even more books and things this year and doing more. But I've written 4 books. I've enjoyed doing that, and they're some are doing well, some are just hanging out there. My dehydrator book actually rather took off, and there's a lot of people who bought my book and they've enjoyed it and things. But I'm going to be writing some more books in this year and stuff. Another thing that I accomplished this year is finishing 75 Hard. And for those of you who don't know what 75 Hard is, it's 2 workouts a day. One of them has to be outside, drink a gallon of water, read 10 pages of a nonfiction book, and then take a selfie, and then eat a clean diet and have no alcohol. And so I completed that. And it's interesting. I was doing research on this, and the statistics shows about 90% fail on completing 75 Hard. So I feel rather good about completing this, doing this, and achieving the 75 Hard and doing it. So the other thing that I've created is I'm working hard at building a coaching business, and reaching out and teaching others and helping others and doing things with others to help them grow, expand. Basically, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirts, and teaching people how to live a bigger, better, fuller, expanded life. And because we have so much, life has so much to offer and everything. And all we do is, and it's amazing to me how many people just, again, coast down the river of life, really not doing anything or achieving anything or really interested in anything. And, they're just worried about, Fridays and making it to Sunday football. And, that's so many people have little or no desires or gumption or wherewithal to push forward. And a lot of that has to do with what's in here and what's in here, the mental fortitude. And one of the things that I'm going to really focus on this year, and I've kind of already been doing this, is really focusing on the positive and not the negative. Yesterday I did a show, I was kind of blown away. I haven't really been looking at social media much during the holiday seasons and everything. And I just, how many negative shows are out there? And it's all it is negative news. And negative news is addictive. It's a form of dopamine that will get you going and everything and get you all hyped up and stuff, but it's in the negative. And negative news causes a lot of stress. It works hard on depleting your cortisol and just really, wearing you down, causing you cardio issues. I mean, there's just so many things with negative news that I'm really working hard at weaning myself this next year off of a lot of the negative news, or what I'm going to be doing is balancing out. So for every hour of negative news I'm going to watch at least 1 hour of positive motivation, personal growth, and everything to kind of like balance that out so that I'm not being affected by the negative news that's out there. But there is so much going on in the world. And I'm not saying stick your head in the sand and, do nothing. What I am saying is don't dwell on it. Don't let it just suck you in and things. What you want to do is be aware of it, understand what's going on out there, but then look for positive, things that you can do to possibly combat those things. So if you're worried about EMP, all right, you don't need to be watching all the negative EMP news out there. It's a form of mental masturbation, and all it does is it serves no purpose except, stimulating you to make you somewhat feel good because of all the drama in the world, where instead what you can do is really focus on personal growth, growing yourself, doing more things and everything. And, a lot of people, and I'm going to come down on preppers here, because a lot of preppers out there, oh, I'm prepared and everything, I've got this. The thing is that they've leveraged so much of their stuff that what they have forgotten is, what does it do to here? And what has it done to here? Are they growing here? Are they growing here? And if you haven't done those things first, then it doesn't matter how much stuff you have. You're going to still fold like a cheap lawn chair. And again, I look back at what happened during COVID. I mean, I know a lot of preppers out there, and I also know that were a number of them, lost their jobs, and they just kind of like tail spun out of it. And then, or I know a couple people, a couple preppers out there that got divorced and things. And so the COVID lockdown was an SHTF situation, and a lot of people were affected. And even though preppers, even though they had all their stuff and all their cool guy gear and everything, they didn't have it here, and they didn't have the mental fortitude here. And so this is something that this year I'm really going to be focusing on, because what a lot of preppers lack is what I call the core four: health, self, love, money. And they are not operating in those areas. If they're not operating in these areas, then they are going to fold. It doesn't matter how much, cool guy gear you have or food you got on the shelves or anything like that. If you have not prepared here and you have not prepared here, then you will be severely affected. And so this year, I'm really going to be focusing on helping people develop that internal energy, that mental fortitude, and being able to strive and thrive. So why survive when you can thrive? And I see so many preppers out there that, they're basically setting themselves up for failure because they've placed their faith in stuff instead of placing their faith in themselves. Now they say that I've got the, no, they haven't, man, because they haven't worked on health, self-love, or money. I mean, go to Facebook groups out there, in some of these prepper Facebook groups, and click on some of these profiles out there, and they're fat tubbos. You can't tell me that you're going to be climbing a flight of stairs and everything. What's going to happen if you need to haul a deer out of the woods or anything? You think your fat tubbo self is going to do it? No. So you're not taking care of your health. You're not taking care of yourself. What are you doing spiritually? What are you doing mentally? What are you doing to grow and everything? And then on top of that, how is your marriage working for you? Are you ships passing by in the night or something? Or are you, really working at developing that relationship? Because when SHTF happens, folks, it's going to be you and your spouse. And you guys have got to be a strong, united team. And if you're not, if you just kind of like roommates and everything, then you're going to fail. And so, it's these sort of things. And then on top of that, what are you going to do for side income? Do you have that thing nailed down and everything? And these are the 4 areas I'm recognizing that so many preppers don't have their crap together in. And so even though they've placed all their faith in all the stuff, they aren't strong internally. They aren't strong mentally. And so these are things I'm going to really focus on this year, because I have recognized, because I've seen it, I look back at myself, 4 or 5 years ago, and where I was lacking. And this is why I started doing what I call core four. I started, doing these self-improvement things. And I've been doing core four now, I think like actually 7 years. And working it, doing it every day. And it's your morning rituals that you do every day that will create that person. And I can tell what you kind of person you are based upon your morning rituals. And so if you have a very weak morning ritual, wake up, get out of bed, drag a comb across my head, and make my way downstairs. The whole song and everything. If you're that sort of person and everything, and then you're running to Starbucks for a cup of coffee and then running to work, where's your morning routine? And so if you're not taking care of yourself first in the morning, energizing yourself, ramping yourself up, and being able to attack that day, it's some of my mentors say, do your core four before you hit the door. And so that's something that I do all the time is I do my morning core four. And so it helps energize me, helps me get going and everything. And I have to admit, there's days that I'm like, I've got to do it. Yeah. But then there's also days that supercharge me and everything. Like this morning, I had a great core four, hit it hard, did it great. And, I'm definitely energized. And so when you do these things, you're taking care of yourself so that when your family is having issues, you're able to stand. And so it's kind of like that whole, oxygen mask on the airplane thing. You put the oxygen mask on first for yourself. You work on yourself first so that when times do happen, SHTF situations do happen, you are strong. You are able to then put that mask on, help you and your family and all these other things. And so that's what the core four does. That's what this personal development does, is it builds this, it builds that. And if you don't have these two things working for you, then it doesn't matter how much stuff you have out in the pantry or anything. It ain't going to matter because, you're going to fold like a cheap lawn chair. Again, I point back to COVID. And, did you have a situation that took place during COVID? How did you deal with it and everything? And so these are things that I feel very strongly about and that I want to see and help people achieve. And so, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. And these are areas that I've recognized that I see very clearly in the prepping arena that people are not working on. And if they're not working on it, how do you think they're going to survive? Not only survive, but how are they going to then thrive? I'm about thriving, not just surviving. Surviving is like digging it up. But thriving means that you are healthy, you're doing great, your marriage is doing great, you've got side incomes, you've got everything handled, you're juggling all these balls with no problem. And that's, the people who do that, people who did that during the Great Depression were able to thrive during the Great Depression. These are things that I've been learning and researching on versus people who did nothing or didn't do or did very little. And there's plenty of pictures out there of the Great Depression of people who really didn't get their crap together versus people who did have their crap together and they thrived during the Great Depression. And so the question is, are you going to just survive or are you going to thrive during the Great Depression? And so, that's what I think is coming, folks. And again, we see all these economic issues taking place and everything. And, it's just all that bad news, but I don't dwell on it. I recognize it. I'm aware of it. But what I'm doing is I'm focusing on what can I do to make myself better? What can I do to put my family in a better position and where we are able to then thrive? So that's kind of my preaching for today, folks. But today is the last day of 2023 to do Coffee of Ray. And so do me a favor, because Monday, what I'm going to do on Monday, New Year's Day, is ask you, what goals do you have for 2024? What do you want to achieve during 2024? What I really recommend you guys do is take some time today or take some time this weekend or something. A lot of us are off and hanging out and everything like that. Take some time and just take some notes. Write down, what did I achieve this year? And it was interesting. Me and Cynthia were talking about it again during coffee this morning and stuff. And, she started naming off, well, Ray, you did this, you did that, you did this. And it's like, we really achieved a lot this year. And so I'm looking back at what we've achieved and now what I want to achieve even more in 2024. So, but yeah, what are you going to achieve? And do me a favor, let's write a list down so that come Monday, you guys can share with me what your goals are going to be. What do you want to achieve in 2024? Do you want to do more in 2024 than you did in 2023? Then let's share these things. I'd like to hear what you're going to do, and think big. Don't think small, think big. And let's just really hit it hard this 2024, because either we can focus on the negative and say, 2024 is going to suck, man, or we can look at 2024 in a positive note and say, yes, I'm going to achieve all these other things and life is going to be great. I'm not only going to survive, but I am going to thrive. So that's everything, folks, here. Coffee with Ray. If you like this show, like, subscribe, share, ring that little bell. Give me a thumbs up right now if you're watching on Facebook or something. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And, subscribe. Do me a favor. Yeah, subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Stinking YouTube made my video yesterday private, and so I got very little views. And I don't know why, but they did. Maybe it's because I was talking about stuff that they didn't like. But I had to go back in there and change it to public, because I always switch my stuff to public anyways, but they switched it to private and things. So help me grow this channel. Do me a favor, go over and check to see if you're still subscribed too, because I've had a lot of people drop off here recently. In fact, I've seen a number of YouTubers talk about how their numbers have dropped off too. So they're changing the algorithms again. But do me a favor, go and check, see if you're still subscribed. And if you are, do. If you're not subscribed again, resubscribe and hit that little bell so you get notified whenever I do go live or post a new video. So that's it. Coffee with Ray. Happy 2023. We'll see you in 2024. Goodbye. God bless. And kilt on.